You ever get so tired as a nurse that you start questioning your entire life? Like, you're talking about exhausted to the point where your scrubs feel heavy, your badge feel heavy, your eyelids feel heavy. Yes, burnout almost made me quit nursing some time ago. And I'm going to share with you why I stayed. So let me take you back to one of the hardest seasons of my career. That is a time when I felt as though I wanted to just give up. At the time, I was working in the emergency room. And emergency department is high acuity, high adrenaline. There is about everything in the department is high. And on top of that, I was in school. Yes, I was meeting all of those deadlines. Assignments were due, trying to balance life and just trying to function as an adult. And I tell you, it was one of those times that I felt as though I wanted to just break away. I wanted to just switch careers and become a full-time mom if it was possible. That was just how I was feeling. Every day I get up, it was more of me being it was a feeling of like, I was in survival mode. I was waking up, getting ready for work, going to work, school, family life, dealing with all of those. And it was just on repeat. Burnout, I felt, wasn't creeping upon me at the time, but it was already there. It was walking beside me every day. It was holding my hand, and I felt as though that's where I was. There was this one particular shift that I was working at, and I will never forget it, where I know we were short-staffed because that is something that we have to deal with every day. The department was crowded. You understand? It was overcrowded, and alarms were going off. Doctors were crazy, busy calling orders, and the patients, the family members, they were there. And some of them were getting upset. They were very anxious. They were just demanding updates, especially because of the long wait time. And there I was running around on anywhere between 3 to 4 hours of sleep. And with the grace of God, yes, I kept on going. At some point, I felt as though I wanted to just leave. I remember at one point I stepped into the medication room just to breathe. And in that moment, I was there standing in front of the Pyxis asking myself if I can do this. I was telling myself I cannot do this anymore. My hands were just shaking. I was feeling anxious, feeling exhausted, physically, mentally. And I started thinking to myself, is this even worth it? Feeling physically, mentally, exhausted. I started thinking that I'm not so sure if this is something that I wanted to continue with. If it was something that was worth it, am I good enough to continue with this job? How long will I be able to do this? And for the first time, I really was considering quitting nursing. But something happened on that day where it changed how I look at, everything. We had a trauma case coming in, and there was a young female who was in a motor vehicle accident, and everywhere there was just like, it was busy. Everybody was just busy moving about, and my brain, yes, I love the fast movement, and I was just like still clicking. After everything had done, we stabilized the patient, and I went over to the patient, and we were, interacting, and she held on to my hand and said, "Thank you, nurse. Thank you, nurse, for saving my life." And in that moment, I realized that during one of the hardest times when I was feeling as though this is something that I wasn't going to be continuing with, I realized that this patient is now saying that she really appreciates me not giving up on her. She really appreciates the staff not giving up on her. But the thing about it is that she never realized how close I was to giving up on my shift, on myself, and on nursing. It hit so hard because, a lot of times we forget the impact that we have. We forget that even on our worst days, there is somebody out there that is relying on us for hope. Someone is out there relying on us for comfort, and we are someone's lifeline. That moment stayed with me, and that is how I ended up not quitting nursing. I'm not saying that, magically burnout disappear or I become burnout proof, but I realized that there was something more important to me being a nurse despite how I was feeling. I wasn't tired because I wasn't capable of doing my job. I was tired because I was just carrying too much. I was carrying too much alone. As I say, I was in nursing school, pregnant, working the shifts, trying to complete my contract. So there were so many things that was going on. So I made the change, and I started out with small things first. I started resting without feeling guilty about it. I asked for help more often. I stopped trying to do things on my own, stop feeling as though I am the strong one all the time. I learned to say no. Sometimes, even as a nurse, sometimes we feel as though, we have this guilt on our shoulder because sometimes they'll call us and tell us that they're short staffed and we said, no, we're not going to go in. Yes, sometimes I feel guilty about it. I start setting better boundaries between work, school, you understand? To make sure that I'm not feeling exhausted or burnout. I remind myself every day that I am human and I'm human first before I am a nurse. And slowly I was finding myself again. I remember why I started nursing in the first place. It is to show compassion. It is to make a difference in a person's life. It is to help people on their hardest days and to show other nurses out there that, especially the new ones, that it is okay for you to struggle. It is okay for you to feel, feel like you're burning out or you're feeling exhausted. It's okay to feel so. And, you can still keep on going. Burnout almost took me out of this profession itself, but my purpose, the purpose that I have, brought me back. And so if you're watching this video and you're feeling that level of exhaustion, you're feeling emotionally, mentally, physically, spiritually drained, I just want you to know that you're not alone. You are not weak. You're not failing. You're a nurse and you are a human nurse. That is the most important thing. The fact that you're still showing up, the fact that you're still trying, you still care. It says more about your strength than the badge and even the degree, you understand, that you hold. So go out and take your breath, go out and take your break, go out and take care of yourself the way you would care for everyone else, including your patient. Because nursing, it needs you. You understand? It needs you and you need it too because you have a love and you have a passion to take care of people and this is what you see yourself doing. So nursing needs you and you need it. So if this video, if this story, it resonates with you, I would love for you to go ahead and drop a comment below. Let me know if you've ever had one of those moments where you're feeling as though you're burnt out and you're questioning yourself about everything that you're doing as a nurse. And most importantly, just remember, you're not alone in this community. There are resources that are out there, peer groups, you understand? You have support groups, you have therapists out there, colleagues, co-workers, if you feel comfortable with them. You have family members out there. Talk to them, you understand? And have them try to understand what you're going through. But remember, most importantly, the Think Nursing platform is here. So subscribe, follow my page because I share uplifting stories. I try to help persons, while you're on the highs and on the lows, and just try to encourage you as you go along. Remember, and most importantly, remember that the Think Nursing platform is here. I share content related to nursing, travel, and lifestyle. So if anytime you're feeling as though, you're on that lower side of life, just come over to my page and just check out one or two other videos and find something that will help with motivating you, uplifting you as you go throughout your journey. Until then, I want to say thank you so much for watching the video. And remember, go ahead and subscribe to my YouTube page at Think Nursing. Follow me on TikTok at Think Nursing, where I share shorter form content and just be a part of the family. All right, just be a part of the family. Until then, I will see you in the next video. Bye. So for a person who is always on the road and you're working every day, you can simply go ahead and make your own breakfast, Yes, you can make your own breakfast. It doesn't have to be anything big, but guess what? At least you know that it's a little bit healthier than the one that you get on the road. Because me know a lot of us go to either Starbucks, McDonald's, Chick-fil-A to get something to eat. And a lot of times, some of those foods are cooked with overnight oil. Just saying. Who have time for that show oil every single day? Just saying. So it's pretty healthy. So for me, a lot of mornings I will have bread and egg because it is something that you still go road and get. You go out and you get a bread and them toast it up, and you get some egg that don't even have one black pepper. You don't have a little seasoning in it. And as I say, I love black pepper on my ackee and saltfish and in my egg. So yes, it has a lot. So there is my bread and egg, and some good old plantain. You know what plantain is? See it here, plantain. Okie dokie. And then I have my little tea. So you can always go ahead and make your own tea. You can get Swiss chocolate, Milo, what else? Oh yeah, the Starbucks and the Dunkin' Donuts, yeah. Go ahead and get those. Or you can get a regular mint, peppermint. This one, what? Yeah, the peppermint tea bag. You see tea bag? So go ahead and get different things and make your breakfast and bring it with you. And this is going to make me feel full. Not too full like, you know, when I eat other breakfasts out there, because I just feel like them full it up cornstarch or baking powder. Yeah, so you always just feel full. By the time you bite into your sandwich 1-2 times, you realize that you're full. I'm gonna eat this, and after I finish eating this, I'm gonna feel full, and that's it. And it's not because of cornstarch. All right, you want me to tell you how it tastes? So you can taste the sweet plantain. It's not too hard or tough. It's not plantain chips, it's soft. And I can taste the egg with the black pepper, and then the bread is soft. Now I'm gonna drink my little, you know, peppermint. Remember guys, when you do this, you save a lot of money throughout the day. Not only the day, if you consistently can do this, at least throughout the week. Because how much one case of egg? A case of egg is almost what, $15? Yeah, so, and that's 1 dozen. You're eating 1 egg probably per day, and you're good. So take your money and go buy bread, egg, and you can add cheese too, and pickles and all the other fancy stuff that you normally put on your sandwich. But for me, I'm very basic. I don't really like the additional things. And you can put lettuce on it as well. Alright? So I'm waiting to go in to see a patient, and then that's it. Breakfast is very important, all right? And that's the end of breakfast. See, very simple. And you'll still feel full. That will keep you throughout the day. And then I walk with my water. Okay, so go ahead and make sure that you're prepping your breakfast if you're able to do so, and don't rely solely on fast food. Do not. All right, so I'm gonna fix it myself and then go into that. So, you know, it is almost the end of the year, and there's so many things I need to give thanks for, and we're not going to give up on not saying it today, because yeah, I don't know if the next minute or two is even promised to me. But I want to give thanks for life. I want to give thanks for life. I want to give thanks for life. More life. And I will tell you a little bit more about it, because this year has been one of the worst years of my life. I have been on this earth for over 35 years now, and may I tell you, say, since being an adult, yeah, it's the worst year of being adulting. And I could go on and on and on and tell you about all the bad things that have been happening, but I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna look at the positive side. I'm gonna continue being optimistic, because I've seen where God has been working over and over and over for me in numerous ways than I can even imagine. A lot of times I'll be feeling down, thinking that, oh no, you know, you're not going to get it right, or it is happening because of probably other things. Because I know sometimes when things start happening, we just always be thinking about the bad. But I've seen where things have been happening I've seen where he spared my life over and over again. And that is what I'm thankful for this year. It started out being a rough year or a difficult year. And it's stemming from like last year. I'm not going to joke. It's stemming from like last year into this year. And it's like I cannot catch a break. But may I tell you, say, only because of the blessings of God or the grace of God that I can stand here at the end of 2025 and say, thank you, Lord, for sparing my life. Thank you for always being there. Thank you for providing. Thank you for family. Thank you for friends who have been constantly there from the beginning to the end or up until this time. We don't know what is promised for the remainder of the year, but we know that God is going to continue bring me through because he has a plan. He has a purpose for me. And that is what is most important. So he will continue be there for me. Even when the road is very rocky, yes, he will be there. He's going to keep on showing up. A lot of times, I might say that, it not going to work out, but the Lord show up just in time. And his timing is the perfect timing. And I will share stories, as I go about on my page. I'm going to share with you different stories. Hopefully, those will help with motivating you and make you know that, you're not alone in this journey, whether or not you're a nurse or you're just somebody sitting down and watching my page because you find something inspirational or you like the accent, whatever it is that draw you to the page here. I will continue sharing different content that will help you and encourage you, motivate you, educate you, inspire you. All of them different things there. Yes, we're going to keep on doing it in 2025 and beyond. So continue to go out and be your best. Continue shine and continue count your blessings. Count your blessings today and tomorrow. All right. I will see you in the next video. Remember to go ahead and follow me here on TikTok at ThinkNursing and on YouTube where I share the longer form contents of everything related to nursing. All right. Until then. Peace out. Defensive charting is something that I always encourage persons to do. Even if you don't know how to do it, go online, read on it, and just make sure that when you're going to see your patients, you're documenting as if something is going to happen to that patient tomorrow, and you need to pull your chart to see exactly what was going on at that time. All right, so always make sure you do that. And why I'm talking about this is I went in to see this patient because I got a call because she was having left ankle pain and there was a concern for a clot, so they wanted me to order a Doppler ultrasound. So I went in and then saw her, but when I saw her, she was working a little bit harder than usual. She's known to have respiratory failure, maintain on 4 liters of oxygen. But when I say that she's working real hard, she is, all right, in comparison to other days. Did her vital signs, her sat and everything was done. Oxygen saturation is at 53%, and the highest it has been is 74%, with this lady doing some really deep breath to make sure that she is, getting in enough oxygen. But it wouldn't go anywhere else. The number is not increasing. So I told her that I definitely want her to go into the hospital, but she refused it. She says she's waiting on her caregiver to show up because they have to clean up the house. All right, she have to clean up the house. And so she's waiting on her caregiver to come in. And then later on, she will go ahead and go into the hospital, which she usually does go into the hospital whenever I recommend her going in. But it's at her own pace. But the only thing I can say is I did told her and I educated her on the importance. We talk about the whole oxygen hypoxia, the effects it has on the body. And we make sure, as usual, talk about the risk as it associated with, the complications and worsening symptoms and death. Document it as well. So when you're charting and you're charting defensively, always make sure you put certain keywords in your notes to make sure that, later on, if anything does happen in these situations, at least you have, documentation to say that this is what your conversation was about. All right. And then from there, at least, you feel as though you're a little bit more comfortable, your license a little bit more comfortable, and you're not going to go to prison backwards. All right. Make sure you document and chart defensively. But either way, go ahead and subscribe to my YouTube page at ThinkNursing. Follow me here on TikTok at ThinkNursing as well. And tune into my live stream where we do study sessions and discuss about other things, on a weekly basis. Until then, thank you so much for tuning in and making it the ThinkNursing channel. Go ahead and repost this video, like it, share it, comment, and favorite it. Yeah, man, make it a favorite for you as well. All right, until then, I will see you. Bye.